share, recipe share. Share a little recipe with Recipe Share. Recipe Share, Recipe Share. Share a little recipe with Recipe Share.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Recipe Share, a program on AADL TV where we take a few minutes to talk about recipes in a featured category. Today's category is For the Love of Garlic. I'm Katie, and as usual, I am joined by Beth and Elizabeth to tell us about their recipes. So, Beth, tell us what you made.
I certainly will. Well, I really liked the sound of the name Garlic Knots, Knots, Garlic Knots. As you know, I've been trying to, improve my bread and, dough making. So that's what I decided to make. And it called for a pizza dough that I didn't use the last pizza dough I made. Of course, that would be too simple, but I'm also trying to figure out which ones I like. But it's very simple, but the part that I liked and that I would love to do with so many things was the garlic butter that you cook, warm up and add parsley. So after the knots are baked, and I have a before picture, and then I also have an after picture. So yeah, you bake them, and then it says to either brush or dunk the rolls in the garlic butter. So I did that. That was lovely. For me, there's still something missing in the dough I'm making. I think I just need to keep trying. Kurt liked them, and we put them in the freezer because we didn't eat them all right away. So they were real handy to just toast, and it was a nice thing to have. But there's something about that bread dough that's just not doing it like when you have a roll at a restaurant or something like that. It's just it's not doing it for me yet. So anyway, I love dunking things in garlic, and so I would recommend it to at least have in your repertoire. Plus, you can also make your herb by already made dough too. So yeah, any thoughts?
Yeah, I love garlic knots. That's awesome. Yeah. So first of all, go ahead, Elizabeth.
No, I was just gonna ask what you served it with. Did you have it with dinner?
We had it, yeah, with the side dish. I think a salad. I don't even remember now. It's a few weeks ago, but I think it was again one of those tag team meals where I was just having it with something else. But yeah, so it's like a side,
Yeah.
extra to have. So
I don't think I've ever had a garlic knot.
Oh, you're missing out.
I don't know that I had. I mean, I might have in a restaurant or something, but
NYPD in Ann Arbor, in my opinion, has the best garlic knots, just if you need to have one.
Okay. That could be my standard then. Yeah.
They're so tasty. So I'm excited that you made one, and I'm excited for you to keep trying until you get this right. You will do it. So
thank
good
you.
for you.
Yeah,
I love that you can freeze these because they're just, they're just little small ones. So you could just decide we just want 4 tonight and just toast them up. That's very cool.
Yeah, it was a handy thing to have. And so I'm on a quest for better bread making. So Elizabeth, what did you make this time?
Okay, well, I love garlic, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this for this theme, because I cook with garlic all the time. It's in so many things. So at first I wanted to do something that really emphasized the garlic. So first I was gonna make, and I hope I'm saying this right, a garlic confit. Is that how you say that? But that would have been fine, but it's just so simple. You put a bunch of garlic in oil and bake it, and then it's done. And you spread it on things, so that seemed a little too simple. Anyway, so I decided to try my hand at, I know I've been doing this a lot, but another New York Times cooking recipe. And this is I have to pull it up here, one pot creamy pasta and greens. And I was intrigued by this because it calls for frozen spinach, and I never really use frozen veg that much. The only frozen veg I use is corn and sometimes peas. So I thought, I was like, this will be a new thing for me. I don't know. So basically what you do is you have a big pot or Dutch oven, and you melt a couple tablespoons of butter, and then you add five finely chopped garlic cloves and a finely chopped shallot, and you stir it all around, and salt and pepper. And then this was interesting to me. You add 5 cups of whole milk, and then 10 ounces of frozen chopped spinach, and then you're supposed to add 2 like wide strips of lemon peel. And then you are stirring this all up 5 to 10 minutes until the milk is kind of simmering, the spinach is broken up, not frozen anymore. And then this was funny too. So then you add in, it calls for like a small pasta, so like a ditalini or orzo or like pearl couscous or whatever. I couldn't find that, so I used baby shells. Fine. So you add that in, and then it says stir often and vigorously. So for 20 to 25 minutes. So I was like, whoa. So I, stirred it as it called for. And you can add more milk. It says if it starts to look dry, and then it's kind of supposed to like thicken up. And then you are supposed to, once the pasta's cooked, you turn off the heat, you pluck out the lemon peels, and you stir in some Parmesan, and then let it sit for a little bit to thicken up. So this was good. I liked it. You can definitely, it wasn't the most garlic forward recipe I've ever done, but 5 cloves of garlic is a fair amount, I think, and you can definitely taste it in the pasta, which is delicious. And then some of the commenters suggested like zesting lemon on top of it, and I did that because that sounded good, and because the lemon peel, it did add a little bit, but I really felt like that kind of brightened it up because it's kind of a heavier dish with the whole milk, and the spinach is frozen, so it's kind of just like, it's not very colorful, so the lemon zest did brighten it. And it was good. I don't think I'm going to like constantly keep it in my repertoire. It's also not really a summer recipe because it's like kind of soupy. But it was yummy, and I feel like garlic and pasta are classic combo together, and I love trying out new stuff. So I'm glad I tried it. And one could make it, or or I'm not going to super emphasize that this is the recipe you should make, but it was fine, and it tasted it was fine. So that's all.
I actually think it sounds really good.
Yeah,
I don't
sounds
eat
like
a lot of pasta, but I think I would actually give that a try because I do love all those flavors. Sound really lovely together. I love that you use extra lemon because I was wondering about the strips of lemon if that would add enough lemon flavor. So I'm glad you mentioned that. The only other thing that I was gonna say is that totally the first thing that I was gonna make for this recipe was a garlic confit as well. I was like, oh, this sounds great, and then I was like, wait, this is way too simple. I have to pick something else. So that's really funny because I had the same thought process.
so you end up cooking the pasta in the milk.
You do,
Right?
yeah.
So that sounds
So
really
that was
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't buy whole milk anymore. I wonder how it would be with other milks.
Yeah, I don't drink milk at all. So this was it was just kind of one of those recipes where I'm like, this is not something I would usually do, so I'm gonna give it a whirl, But then there were commenters who were like, I used broth, or I used, like, I'm
Right.
vegan, so I used, there was different stuff. So
All
I
right.
yeah, I don't know. So
Cool.
yeah.
Well, that's why we're here. We're sharing
Yeah,
recipes.
we're experimenting with stuff. So, okay, Katie, tell us about your garlic recipe.
Okay, so the recipe that I have today is for gooey garlic herb mozzarella grilled cheese sandwich. So this is by Jess Larson from the website playswellwithbutter.com, which just like love the web address. I know I've talked about grilled cheese before on this show, but this I could not help it once I tried it. I had to share it with you guys. This has actually like changed the way that I make grilled cheese. I think grilled cheese is like the first thing that I knew how to cook, right? And so I've been making them for a million years in a million different ways, and I was like very set in my ways. And I've changed a little bit because of this. Okay, so the first thing that you do is you prepare your herbed mozzarella and garlic butter. So much like Beth, the garlic butter is like my favorite part of my recipe. You just add softened butter, some chopped up garlic, and freshly grated Parmesan to a bowl and mix that all together. This recipe that I'm sharing is for 4 sandwiches. The first time I made it, I made just 1 sandwich. And then actually my husband walked in while I was making it and was like, that's amazing. So next time double it. So the next time I've made 2 sandwiches, but I have never made like quite this whole portion of sandwiches. But so you make your garlic butter and then you set that aside. Then you make your cheese mixture, which is freshly ground or freshly grated mozzarella and finely chopped basil. And you just stir that all together. So it's not like wet ingredients there, but you stir them all together to get them combined. And then you assemble your grilled cheese sandwiches. You spread your butter on the outside, put the cheese in the middle, and then you grill them on your oven just for 1 or 2 minutes aside, just like you would any grilled cheese until it gets brown and toasty, except for the way that these get brown and toasty is like, because it's got Parmesan on the outside and that butter, it crisps up super nice around the edges. Have a couple of pictures of that. And then the little garlic pieces get nice and toasty brown. They look like little flecks on the outside of the sandwich. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. It's just so good. And then yeah, you just slice them and serve them. I've got another couple of pictures of how they look like ooey gooey on the inside with this beautiful basil cheese mixture. But I've also have cut down on the time to make these a little bit by just putting some sliced pepper cheese in the middle. But I have just kept on doing that butter, garlic, Parmesan mix for the outside of my grilled cheese sandwiches, and it is outstanding. So definitely suggest you guys give it a try. Super tasty.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds amazing. So really just the outside part is what you'll continue to do probably forever.
Yeah, I did love the combination of mozzarella and the basil. Like smells so good. And I probably, because like it's summer and I've got the herb garden, will do that like a little bit more often, but it was totally fine just putting a couple pieces of cheese in the center. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah, I love that. Sounds amazing.
I think I might have missed this. So do you melt the butter first and then you melt softened?
Yes.
So it's kind of like, and then you stir it up. So is it like, it's spreadable when
it's
you
spreadable. Yeah.
Okay.
So either like if you keep your butter in the fridge, just take it out like an hour beforehand and it'll get honey soft enough. Otherwise, we keep butter in a butter dish on the counter sometimes too. So that's the one thing you want to make sure you've got that softened butter before you get started. I don't love softening butter in the microwave because I feel like it's too hard to go too far, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yum. Yum. What's not to love?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we all love garlic. That's very clear. Well, we want to thank everybody for watching Recipe Share. Be sure to click the link below to look at the event page on aadl.org to find the recipes we talked about and to share your own in the comments. Join us next time, and we'll be talking about recipes that are sweetened with honey. We are looking forward to seeing what you've been making, so thanks for sharing.
Recipe share, share a little recipe